Hi, I'm Charlie Collins and we're talking sport. You're very welcome to this special edition of Talking Sport. On Sunday in Healy Park, Omagh, Glenswilly GAA Club Senior Football Team meet Ballinderry, the Derry champions, in the Ulster Club Senior Championship final. Only 3 Donegal clubs have played in the senior final in Ulster, and only St Joseph's in 1975 have actually won it. It's an incredible performance by a club which only moved up to senior club football 8 seasons ago and which was only formed in 1982. Last week the club marked the occasion with a special up for the match evening at their clubhouse, while a couple of nights before that a very special visitor was in attendance in Glenswilly, Colm Gooch Cooper, the Kerry legend, whose club Dr. Crokes will play in the Munster final on Sunday. Talking Sport was there and took the opportunity to talk to Colm Cooper and also to Glenswilly club chairman Mick Murphy, and indeed the club's 2 all-stars, Neil Gallagher and Michael Murphy, at last week's events.
Well, we're here at the great facilities of Glenswilly GAA Club. A hugely exciting time for the club, of course, in the next week or 10 days as they prepare for their first ever appearance in an Ulster Club Championship final. And there was a very special guest at the Glenswilly GAA Club on the evening that we were out there, none other than 8 times All-Star, the one and only Colm Gooch Cooper. He, of course, was visiting here in the county and took the opportunity to come along to the club, and we got the opportunity to talk to him because, of course, his club, Dr. Crokes, are playing in the Munster Senior Championship final on the same day that Glenswilly play Ballinderry. So is it likely, perhaps, that the Dr. Crokes and Glenswilly could meet at some stage in the championship? Well, as you can see behind us here, we're at the Glenswilly GAA Club, and of course a lot of famous players playing for them now, well known around the country, but it's fair to say I'm in the presence of someone whose face is known to all GAA fans, indeed sports fans throughout Ireland. Colm Gooch Cooper's here at Glenswilly. Not signing for the club, are you, for the Ulster Club Championship final, Colm?
Not quite, no. I think I'm cup tied with Dr. Crokes down in Kerry, but just up doing a little bit of work with AIB around the last few days with kids in the school. So I'm delighted to come down and see everyone in the club. I was here earlier in the year, so it's nice to come back.
Yeah. We feel it's a remarkable achievement that Glenswilly have got to an Ulster Club final, given the size of the club. They've only been in existence since 1982, and your club's almost 100 years older, so I'm sure you feel that way as well about them. Remarkable that they've made a final so early in their lifetime. Yeah,
and it's very special, and I think tribute has to go to everybody in the club, be it people behind the scenes, the coaches that have brought all these players through, and for such a small place to be competing now in county finals and Ulster finals and setting goals maybe and getting to Croke Park on St Patrick's Day, it's a phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Crokes, obviously a very successful club, but just looking at the record, it shows how difficult it is to actually get to interprovincial club championship finals, Colm, because you're coming up against good sides in your own county, but particularly when you go outside your own county.
Certainly, and I think it's great to win your own county title, and it's fantastic for everybody in the club, but when you take part in the provincial series, then it definitely goes up a notch or two. You're playing the champions from different counties, they're well prepared, they probably know a little bit more about you, and it's just really, really difficult to try and compete at that level, and it only comes along every now and again. It could be another 20 years before teams get back to that level again, and you just have to make it count when you're there.
Yeah, I've heard you say that it's probably the one medal that's missing on your CV now, because you've had great success at county level and at club level in the county and in Munster, but I suppose to round off your career, if that's the best way to put it, an All-Ireland Club Championship medal with your club would be hard to beat.
Absolutely, it would be the cherry on top, really, you know, that you've played all through your life, because the club is very special, because they're the guys you grew up with, you went to school with, you've probably won finals with, lost finals with, and you spend most of your time with right throughout your career. So to win the All-Ireland would be the ultimate prize, and that's why we keep trying and go back training in January and training these cold, wet nights to try and get that elusive All-Ireland medal, and that's the same for every guy in every club right across the country.
Yeah. And for Glenswilly in their first final now, I mean, I suppose some people would be saying they should be happy to get to the final, but I remember somebody saying to me a long time ago, if a team's good enough to get to a final, they're certainly good enough to win it.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that they're setting their sights on winning the final, you know. And I saw a few clips of the semi-final that they played in Noma, and they look like a very good side, and they'll be definitely going up to play Ballinderry and looking to win that. And when you're in finals, you want to win them, because like I said, you don't know when you're going to be back at this stage again. It might be next year, it might be for another 10 years, so they'll be wanting to make a count, and hopefully keep the journey going, because who knows where it's going to end.
Yeah, I suppose like your own club, Glenswilly have a few players who've been playing at their county level very successfully for the last few years, but it's all about the other players really performing when you get to a club championship final. It's no good 2 or 3 players performing.
Yeah, and I would say definitely from our point of view that we've a few inter-county players, but it's probably the club players that have made the biggest difference for us, and they've played really, really well, and they've put in huge commitment. They're the guys who are training all years and all during the year and dragging fellas along, and when the inter-county boys come back, they strengthen the team a little bit. But it's the club players that really keep this thing going right throughout the year, playing in league matches, and keep the shoulder to the wheel, and they're the guys that deserve the credit.
If Dr. Crokes and Glenswilly won on Sunday week in their respective provinces and won their semi-finals in February, we could see them in Croke Park on St Patrick's Day. Donegal against Kerry again, that would be some occasion. Yeah,
wouldn't it be fantastic? And I think both teams would settle for that now. To be heading for Croke Park on St Patrick's Day would be it'd be a dream for both teams, and it would be brilliant to repeat of all the Donegal Kerry games are fantastic, and I think there's a healthy rivalry between both counties, and great respect between the two of them as well. And we'll be doing our bit in Munster, and I'm sure that Glenswilly will be doing their bit in the Ulster final on Sunday week as well.
And finally, Colm, on a personal note, what's left to achieve for you? I suppose this club championship is one you'd really love to get under your belt. You know, you're 30 years of age now, and you're obviously still in good shape. You have a lot of miles on the clock. Is it a situation that you're looking at the end of your career being closer rather than further away?
It's probably a reality that it's coming. The day is coming quicker now, but I'm enjoying my football. Like you say, I'm healthy, I'm fit. I'm enjoying the club football as well. So hopefully there's a couple of years left. You know, in Kerry we're always looking to win more All-Irelands and compete for All-Irelands. And if we could get one more of them and one more All-Ireland club, I'd happily take a step back then. But when you're enjoying it, you just want to make the most of it.
Great to see you here in Donegal and here at Glenswilly GAA, and it'll be a dream come true if we were talking to you again St Patrick's Day.
Please God. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Colm.
Thank you.
Well, being in an Ulster Club Championship final is wonderful for Glenswilly GAA club, not only for the team and all involved around that, but for the club in general. And this is a club that has been on the up and up, of course, for the last number of years. A lot of people working very hard behind the scenes at underage level, in reserve team football and fundraising and all that goes with trying to keep a club going through a difficult time, and a very difficult time we're having. I took the opportunity to speak to the chairman of the club, Mick Murphy, when we visited Glenswilly GAA club last week. Well, I'm here with the chairman of Glenswilly GAA Club, Mick Murphy. Mick, I suppose it's an almost unbelievable situation that we're standing here in Glenswilly talking about the club playing an Ulster Club Senior Championship final. Who would have thought?
That's correct, Charlie. It's absolutely a dream come true. There's no doubt about that. But having said that, I still believe myself, this group of players that we have in Glenswilly at the present time, they're just getting their just rewards for what they have performed, the way they have performed this year. Not alone that, their commitment, their attitude, all those good quality words that go with honesty when it comes to training. We've probably over 100 training sessions done up on that field this year, and that doesn't count any core work, anything like that. And these boys are still at it, and they're just determined, very determined lads, fully committed and really, really focused. And they're hungry for medals. That's what I see about them.
Yeah. I suppose if we just reflect back, they got to a final in the mid-2000s, which again surprised some people. Then they came back a couple of years ago into a final and won their first senior title. Last year was a bit disappointing, and I suppose no great surprise, Mick, on the back of what had happened the year before. But this year, 2013, as you say, there seems to be a completely new focus about the players, and I suppose success breeds success.
Well, that would be correct, but we go back to 2011 and they won their first ever County Senior Football Championship. Now, they had all their players that year, there's no doubt about it. Now, they had been really, really batting to try and win a Donegal Senior Championship for a few years before that, and it didn't work out for them. But they won it in 2011 for the first time ever, and I suppose there was a number of them then took a break. They wanted to get away just for a break because they had given such commitment to the club. And as a result, we ended up getting relegated. But we also have to really focus in on this thing too. In 2012, one of the reasons probably they did get relegated was we gave a commitment to the county senior management that we would play all our league games without our county men, which we did do. And that also negatived against us. But we don't have any complaints about it. We ended up being relegated. But this year we got back again with all our people on board. The people that had gone away, they had come back, and they took it on another stage. They've got promoted out of Division 2. They're now in Division 1 for next year. They'll have to win in the Donegal Senior Championship. I agree, they only won a lot of their games just by one score. In really tight games. They had the wee bit of luck, but they really did perform well in all their games to get there. So that's really the story as of now.
Yeah, and I suppose the challenge of St Gall's in the quarter-final of the Ulster Championship in Ballybofey, that was perfectly set up for Glenswilly really, because Galls were coming with a huge reputation, and rightly so, as former All-Ireland winners. And it was just the ideal game for Glenswilly, coming on the back of such a great performance in the county final.
That would be correct, Charlie. Definitely, I thought they performed very, very well that day against St Gall's. Now, I have to admit St Gall's had their problems too with shooting, things like that. But at the other end of the bargain, you have to also look at Glenswilly. They had only 2 wides that day. They were very economical with their scores. And I suppose on the day, Glenswilly took the chances and won, whereas St Gall's didn't take the chances and lost.
3 goals, I suppose, was the difference at the weekend as well. Goals won matches, and although they did concede 2, it was a game really that they were well in control of. Most of the game, I suppose, when it came back down to 2 points, Rosslea were back in it. But Glenswilly, as has been their habit, Mick, once they seemed to be threatened, they were able to produce something.
They did, yeah. Well, the way I analyse the game, we gave away 2 very bad goals, and we missed 2 other goals. I always thought we were a better team. Generally. Now, we did have a poor period just after half-time when Rosslea really did come at us, but when we steadied ourselves and got our composure again, we rolled on, and I suppose that's the sign of a good team. But this is a very good, very, very committed group of players, I have to say. Really, really good club players, good club team. And another thing I'd say about them, there's a good few of these lads even back now coaching the youngsters as well in the club, and that's good. That's great for the club, and it's great for the community. Yeah,
and I suppose that's what I was just a point I wanted to make before we finish, Mick. The overall effect on the club. The senior team is really the mainstay of any club, and it tends to follow when the senior team's doing well, everything else in the club goes well. Is that the way it is at Glenswilly GAA Club at the moment?
Definitely, that is the way it is, yeah. Everybody wants a wee part of it, and everybody is getting a part of it. We've 2 schools in the area. They're very, very much part of it. We'll try and link the schools as best we can with the club. And the players, they have been very, very good. When we won the county title the following day, Monday, they went around to the schools. They didn't leave it to Tuesday or later on in the week. So they're very focused lads, these fellas. I also have to say we have an excellent management team there. They're young men in their late 30s, early 40s. They're very good at relating to the players, And the backroom team as well, they're all young men, and they have a great relationship with the player. Everybody wants to do something in the club. And I think that's very, very good, and please God, it'll go forward. We'll go forward with that as well.
And go forward with an Ulster Senior Club Championship under your belt, Mick?
I would hope we could win this Ulster Senior Club Championship. I'm getting a bit greedy now, there's no doubt about that. But I wouldn't underestimate Glenswilly. I can tell you, we know what we're up against. This is a good Ballinderry team. There's no 2 ways about it. They have a lot of quality in their team. But I honestly think this is going to be a lot closer game than a lot of people might think.
Believe it or not, Glenswilly GAA Club was only founded in 1982. And if you consider how short a time it's been since then to now, and the team's going to be contesting an Ulster Club Championship final, it puts into some perspective where this club has come from in a very, very short time.
2 great ambassadors for Donegal, 2 great ambassadors for Glenswilly. Charlie, I'm just going to leave them the mic, and you can do the interview from now on. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Gallagher and Michael Murphy.
Where exactly are you, Barry? I can't see you. Where are you? Oh, you're way down at the back there. Who's got the mic first?
Michael.
Neil, I said to you after the county final, just to reflect what's happened to your career in the last few years, you know, with the club championship, with the county team winning Ulster championships, you've won in All-Ireland, you've been an All-Star, but I would say that what's going to happen on Sunday week, because the club's about the parish, and we can see that clearly here tonight, this is a wonderful occasion for Neil Gallagher personally.
Aye, definitely, Charlie. Like, as all the rest of the men have said and women and people have said, that I've come a long way this last few years, like, and to be competing in the final is a big thing. You know, just chatting to one of the experts, Charlie McGrew, out there in the thing beforehand, and he says, listen, it's been a good couple of years, this last 3 years, like winning two Ulsters and the All-Ireland with the county, and then to bring 2 Dr. Maguires back to Glenswilly. It's just been unreal, like, and now to have a chance now, 50-50 chance against a good team like Ballinderry, to bring the Ulster Cup back, just would be something special, you know.
Yeah, it'll be too much to say, Neil, the old cliche, you're going into the game with nothing to lose, because really you're going into a game with everything to lose. Because I was talking to somebody today and they said, you know, these opportunities don't fall down from heavens unless you're across McGlen or somebody like that. So, you know, hopefully it won't happen, but it might happen that this is the only chance that Glenswilly will get to win an Ulster Club title.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to look at it like that. That this going to be, you know, you got to look at it as going to be the last game you're going to play, because you just never know when you'll get another chance to go back at it. Like, so, do you know, as players and management for the next 10 days, and even since the Rosslea match, has just been working and just focusing on training and working hard and trying to get things as right as we can and preparing as best we can to give ourselves as good a chance against Ballinderry. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be not for want of effort in a way that we're, you know, if we happen to get beat, like, which I hope doesn't happen. Like, what I mean, what's happened all year, we're giving our best. You know, even after losing men through injuries and whatnot. Like, I mean, Ryan Hunter played every game, and then done his cruciate, and Leon Kelly as well, and a few other boys. And you know, just our work rate and the strength of our squad. Like, John McFadden hadn't started a game and came on then and started against St Galls and played well. Like, so. I mean, it's just about the whole squad and the whole management team now putting on every effort now to hopefully be back here on Sunday week, you know, with a cup, you know. That'll be someone else.
It absolutely would. Thanks, Neil. Michael, like Neil, has been an incredible last few years for you with the under-21s and senior and all that sort of stuff, and captaining your country in the international rules this year. What an honour for you and for the club here as well. But again, I'd suggest that Sunday week is where it's at, really, for Michael Murphy, the Glenswilly club man.
Yeah, without a doubt. Come here, that's where it has to be. You know, you always think about the club, and the cliche will always come out there, no matter where you chat to any man around the country. You know, it's the cornerstone of the GAA. It's the cornerstone of you as a footballer. No matter how far you go or wherever you go to, it's always the club. You know, you look over the last number of years, any big defeats that happened, I suppose, with Donegal or with anything like that, it was always the club you came back to. It was always the club that picked you up, and even anything that you won, it was always the club you went back to celebrate. So, as I say, to be able to represent your club in such a massive game coming up now, it's just a fantastic honour. It's one that I look on with great pride, and I know everybody that's going to take the field for Glenswilly the next day is doing their level best to, I suppose, try and get us over the line.
Yeah, and Michael, obviously the expectation of you as a player, because, you know, with all due respect to everybody else, and they'll understand why I'm making this point, when people mention Glenswilly, they'll say, well, they've got Michael Murphy. Does that put extra pressure on you as an individual, as a player within the team structure? Do you feel that you have to produce that bit extra, that bit special every day you go out with Glenswilly?
Not one bit. The squad that we have here, and each and every individual player, you know, is chipping in all the time with huge performances over the last year. Look at any success we've had here with the senior team. Go back to 2011 or go back to this year, you know, from 1 right through to 20 to 25, everybody is putting in massive contributions. And I suppose it's just up for you to do your job. You know, Gary and Johnny sets us out to do our jobs in the day, and there's no different for me as it is for Shorty, a cornerback. You know, it's just to give your all for the club and give your all for the jersey. So as I say, everybody just takes that added bit of pressure, and come here, it's a fantastic position to be in.
You've lifted Sam Maguire. Would this be the icing on the cake for you, Michael? Glenswilly won in the Ulster Club Championship.
Yeah, come here. It's just about us performing. You know, that's really what we all want to do. We just want to go up there and we want to perform. If we can perform and a result follows that, then that'll be fantastic. But just suppose leaving here and up there training tonight and training next week, that'll be all our focus. It'll just be on performing and doing our best for the club in Glenswilly. And you know, as I said again, and everybody's reiterated, we're all in it together. The supporters that go up there will be in it. You know, everybody that does a bit of work here within the club will be all in it together, and we'll just be out to do everybody proud. And as I say, to represent Glenswilly, to represent Donegal, and to represent them all in an Ulster final, and try and do our best.
I'm sure you will. Thanks, Michael. Thanks a million. Thanks, Neil. So there you have it. Glenswilly are ready for the challenge of making history, and it would take a brave person to bet against them achieving it in Omagh on Sunday. That's it from this week's edition of Talking Sport. Thanks to Jackson Media and Full Tilt Studios for their help in putting together this special programme. We'll have more from Talking Sport next week.